Hello there, so I'm back on the Good Enough Mum page, and today I wanted to talk about being kind to ourselves when difficult things happen. And the reason for this is I'm just coming to the end of my self-compassion course that I'm doing, which is all about using mindfulness and being compassionate towards ourselves. And the opening chapter that we started with was with a mantra from Kristin Neff, who is a very well-known writer on the subject of self-compassion. And what she says is that sometimes when we're going through something difficult, we can stop and we can say to ourselves, this is a moment of suffering. Suffering is part of life. May I be kind to myself. And this forms the basis of a lot of self-compassionate exercises and practice. And the thing is, when something difficult happens, we can be quite hard on ourselves. And one of the first things that we can do is we can tell ourselves off for feeling what we're feeling and think that perhaps we're exaggerating or perhaps we're not important enough to be feeling what we're feeling, that really it's not so bad, and that we should think about all the other people in the world who are much worse off than us, and we shouldn't be feeling our feelings. But I think part of being kind to ourselves is recognising that it may not be a drama to anybody else, but to us this is something that's really upset us, and to allow ourselves to feel those feelings, to allow ourselves to feel upset, and to recognise maybe that we feel very disappointed perhaps our brains have been expecting a particular outcome and that isn't going to happen any longer. We just get so used to, we have to do this to be able to function on a daily basis. We have to be able to have an expectation that things will continue to function in the same way as they have functioned in the past. And then when something happens that changes that, it can be a really, really difficult thing to get our heads around. And we have to readapt, and we have to give ourselves time to readapt. And that can often involve this process of grief, even if no one's died. There's a lot of things that we can grieve over. And so I think what Kristin Neff says is very important, that may I be kind to myself. May I be kind to myself by recognising that this is a moment of suffering. This is a moment of suffering for me. Because if we deny it, if we try and push it away, we only prolong it. Whereas if we allow ourselves to feel the feelings, what tends to happen is the feelings come up and then they go in sort of like a wave-like pattern. And, we can allow ourselves to feel the sadness. And as that happens, we do get a peak, a real, very difficult to cope with perhaps, peak of emotion, but then it'll subside again. And they say that these cycles can be as short as 90 seconds. So, by not allowing ourselves to feel the grief, in actual fact, we're prolonging something that perhaps we could allow ourselves to experience. And they're not terribly pleasant feelings. They're not particularly nice feelings to be having. But if we allow ourselves to experience those feelings, in a sense we're saying, yes, this is a moment of suffering. I am suffering grief. But also it gives us a way forward, and it means that we don't cause ourselves more suffering through prolonging it, through perhaps turning to other things like escape activities such as alcohol or eating, things that might actually not serve us very well in the long run. And so when we experience a moment of suffering, we need to be kind to ourselves. And what does that mean? How can we be kind to ourselves? Allowing ourselves to feel our feelings, reaching out for support if that's what we need, just reaching out and connecting with people if that's what we need, taking time out just to be quiet if that's what we need as well. just anything that will support us through this difficult time. That's how we can be kind to ourselves. I'm not expecting too much of ourselves at this difficult time. To sort of, allow ourselves to be who we are with no expectation that it's okay to feel our feelings. So if this is helpful to you, then please like and share this so that other people can find it helpful too. And look out for my blog on thegoodenough.mum.com/blog, and I'll be writing some more about this in the blog. Thanks so much for watching. I can see someone's here. Thank you for watching, and take care now. Bye.